Godzilla 1962 here, and a huge piece of Godzilla news just dropped. This being Toho released the midterm plans for 2028. Now, not all of this is Godzilla focused, but there is a decent amount of Godzilla stuff in it, and I want to go over all the Godzilla media showcased here, so let's get into it. The plans open with the first slide showcasing Godzilla Minus One. This makes sense considering how much of a success that film was, but also it's because it's Toho's latest Godzilla film. And in the next slide, we see Chibi Godzilla. I'm pointing this out because Chibi Godzilla has been used over the last few years to push Godzilla out to a younger audience. And I love this because Chibi Godzilla actually is a personal favorite of mine. I enjoyed the online show, and I think it's a neat version of Godzilla that Toho has created, because they have done this kind of thing before. Afterwards, Godzilla can be seen in Toho looking back at the content released in 2025. Now, something many know about, but it's still an important thing to note, is Godzilla Minus One winning an Oscar, and this is a slide dedicated to what Toho projects captivated audiences worldwide. And as it says on the bottom, Godzilla Minus One won Best Visual Effects at the 96th Academy Awards, and ranked third among the highest grossing foreign language films of the North American box office history. After the mention of one of Godzilla's greatest achievements, Toho goes into detail on how they want to explore making Godzilla into a bigger franchise. Toho will be investing approximately 15 billion yen over the next 3 years. They're doing this to expand the series across the globe, and as it says in the slide, fully scale the IP business. And for those who don't know, 15 billion yen is approximately a little over $100 million, which may sound like a lot, but that's less than what the MonsterVerse films cost, so a return on this investment should be guaranteed pretty easily. Aside from Godzilla having a few images in the next few slides, we get a full plan on what Toho wants to do with Godzilla. Firstly, some small news, like how we're getting another Godzilla film by Takashi Yamazaki, and how Toho is planning to promote the upcoming Godzilla games. I say this is small because we know of the movie, and more games have already been announced before this. Secondly, how Toho plans to expand overseas. When it comes to Godzilla, they intend to listen to fan feedback and gather preferences, and using this, they will give this feedback to the teams working on upcoming projects. Then after that, they'll expand and supply more content for the franchise. Now, this big thing everyone is talking about, and why you probably clicked on the video, Toho's entire strategy for Godzilla up until 2028, or at least the bare basics from what we know. I'm sure there's more we don't know of. Let's look at all of this one by one. The merchandise and events. Toho intends to expand the licensing and make more products in-house. Considering some of the recent releases and when it comes to merchandise, that excites me to hear that. And as for events, it seems like we'll get more amusement park rides. Now, though it doesn't say where or what the rides will be, I assume there'll be more rides in Japan. Hopefully we get some outside of Japan eventually. After that, we get the info that 2 more Godzilla stores will open up in Japan. Those stores will open up in Daibai and Shibuya. Now onto what the majority of the American fan base is talking about. Video games. Firstly, the most exciting part, console games. As it says on the slide, develop console games to attract gaming fans around the world by making significant investments. This is huge news, considering that the last major console game we got was Godzilla for the PS3 and PS4, which is decisive to say the least. Now, this information doesn't tell us what the games will be about, but it does tell us what we can expect. And that's going to be some pretty good stuff. From the description, it tells us Toho will make major investments in these games, which tells me they will most likely hire well-known companies to make these games, or possibly that they will invest into making games that the community wants. Very little info, but I'm trying to work with what we have here. Next up is mobile games, which tells us nothing new. Just that Toho will be making games to attract more casual fans into the franchise. Now, before we move on from the games, I want to mention the images used to represent the games, as these are original to this slide, but they aren't anything special. For the console games, it's just a rough Photoshop of the Godzilla King of the Monsters statue used for the promotion of the film, and King Ghidorah, dropped into an image of Elden Ring. Meanwhile, the mobile games shows off 4 different AI generated images. I don't mind any of these images being used here, as these games are most likely in a very, very early stage of development, one in which concept art isn't even made. So rough stock photos or AI generated images had to be used. But an interesting thing to note is while I was making this video, the images were actually changed. So that's interesting to note. And the next thing is the visual content section. This section is pretty simple, as it not only confirms the already known footage for the new Japanese Godzilla film, but it also goes into how Toho will make content for TV, social media, and more. This is great to see, considering how this means we'll get new stories with our favorite kaiju that spans upon multiple series. Aside from all the info this slide shows off, other information about Godzilla can be seen. This being how Godzilla is a well-known character and is globally known, and it states how he has been 100% owned by Toho for 70 years. Now, what excites me is that the slide says that Toho wants to evolve Godzilla from a visual content brand to a border-driven IP brand. I'm excited for that, as it can lead to Godzilla not only being a much bigger franchise than it already is, but it means we don't have to rely on shows and films being the main forms of entertainment for this series. Aside from all that big news, there is one more thing left for Godzilla here, and that is how Toho is launching a new membership service in Japan for fans of the content in 2026, and Godzilla will be a part of this. Other than that, Chibi Godzilla and friends are seen. Always good to see them. I love them. But that's it for the Godzilla news and Toho's midterm plans for the next few years. Now, there's a lot more to say as to how this entire midterm plan affects Godzilla as a franchise as a whole, and what Toho is planning to do overall, which will affect our favorite kaiju. But that is all a talk for another time. And to be honest, it would make this video way too long, and I'm not the kind of guy to talk about that kind of thing. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Godzilla 1962, signing off.